I'm reading a piece entitled Yellow. His blonde hair matched the color of the rose in his morning coat lapel, and the rose matched the color of the bridesmaid dresses. Yellow ribbons symbolizing faithfulness decorated the church pews. Although some may think the priest in our wedding photograph was praying, in fact, he was clapping. I thought at the time he was applauding our marriage, but perhaps he was trying to get our attention to stop what we were doing. Like when someone claps if a dog jumps on the couch. Ignoring his warning, Tom and I turned our backs on him to face our family and friends gathered at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Denver. My favorite part of the photograph isn't my dark Farrah Fawcett hairstyle, Tom's handsome face, or even my trim waist. My favorite part is the arrangement of our hands. He's actively placing mine into his. Such a simple yet abundant act of comfortable affection. Years ago, when looking at the photo, my eyes focused on the obvious, but history has granted me insight into a life that was still to come. Now I notice that Tom's weight is shifted away from me, right there on the altar in front of God and everybody. My weight is shifted too, but I'm leaning towards him. We look like we're on the deck of a ship that's listing. One of the causes of listing is an abrupt turn at high speed. That was us. In June 1980, we were headed full tilt into dreams of a traditional life of houses and New Year's Eves and 10-year wedding anniversaries and lasagna and babies. And then he turned. Tom turned and the marriage sank. An ocean of unexplained tension flowed between us. He began coming home after midnight and spending entire Saturday afternoons at his health club. We'd be strolling through a park and he'd stop to use the bathroom and be gone for 15 minutes. Our marriage counselor, Julius, suggested that we live apart, and I said, that doesn't make sense. But we still separated, and I cried myself to sleep so much that I finally covered the pillow with a peach-colored wedding gift towel. And then I visited Julius alone, and he said, ask Tom to give you a reason. And I said, his reasons are stupid. And Julius put down his pipe and repeated himself. Ask Tom to give you a reason. And 3 days later, I said to Tom, Julius says you need to give me a reason. And Tom said, because we fight a lot. And then he walked out of our little Dallas apartment. The water glass I threw at him left glittering shards in the parking lot. The divorce was final less than a year after we were married. I felt like a used piece of furniture and imagined a bleak spinster future. Nobody wants secondhand goods, especially a man looking for a wife. Tom stole from me. I could never again be a beautiful, blushing bride. Life was different back then. Divorced women were jaded, especially a 25-year-old. As for Tom, he had an excuse, me. I could imagine him saying, I was married once, but it didn't work out. I was his cover. He never did tell me the real reason. I had to figure that out for myself. Our love was a lie. Yellow is the color of cowards. My stomach was full of such emptiness that I couldn't eat. Girlfriends flocked to my apartment carrying baked goods and pasta as if someone had died and carbohydrates paved a path to peace. In an effort to reinvent myself, I chopped off my hair and permed what was left. Then I was a sad divorcee with a Brillo pad haircut. Over the next several months, Tom's secret life revealed itself to me, one skeleton at a time, as if I were an anthropologist. Friends shared with me their suspicions and explained their timidity to interfere. As a closet of skeletons mounted, so too did my anger, tearing up favorite photos, writing enraged letters, yanking off my wedding ring in a blurry-eyed frenzy. But with anger came strength strength to go out with friends, exercise, and move out of our little honeymoon apartment. Life went on. Then one day, without warning, sadness returned, but it was different this time. The tears were quieter, calmer. I cried not for me, but for Tom, and the realization that he had to go to such extremes to make his way in our society. I got caught in the crossfire. I grieved for him and for the difficult life ahead of him. Forgiveness eventually found its way into my broken heart. Only then could real healing begin. In time, I met someone who made me laugh again and ultimately love. Stan actually viewed my divorce as a positive feature because he believed that the experience taught me how to make a good marriage, as if marriage was like cooking and I had just baked a bad batch of brownies. This optimistic man became my husband, and together we've built a life and family around a marriage based on truth. I saw Tom's niece 4 years ago. I was walking across a Denver College campus, and Janet actually recognized me 26 years later. As fate would have it, she and I have children who are accepted to the same university. Maple leaves crunched under our feet as we strolled down the courtyard walkway, her carrot red hair blowing in the breeze. I asked about her mom, about her sister, and finally, I asked about Tom. Her head jerked towards me. AIDS, she said. My feet felt heavy and stopped moving. My eyes closed and I winced. When? I whispered. He had died in 1991, the same year my daughter was born. I never knew. He's now in a place filled with light. Yellow is also the color of sunshine.